Okay, so I passed. All right, but thank you all for coming. And it is a Wednesday evening, and no wonder you've come here to listen to me. But hopefully I'll impart some knowledge. All right. There's many of you in here who I haven't even coached yet. All right, let alone you've heard me speak. So I'll give you a quick 60 seconds, if that, of who I am. Okay. 11 years ago, I dropped out of university. Okay, good. Thank you, Sarah. All right. Some of you will know, but my mum sent me off to study business management and computer science. Based on the presentation, you'll see why I was never going to make it. All right. However, I dropped out university, qualified as a PT. All right, 11 years ago. I've coached ever since. I've coached in multiple gyms, worked with qualifying personal trainers. In the same time, studied my degree in nutrition. Okay, I worked the whole way through. I've coached ever since for 11 years. And my degree is in human nutrition and sports performance. All right, so I'm semi-qualified to give you a bit of information. Okay, what you do with said information today is entirely up to you. I don't care whether you believe it, whether you agree with me. I'm giving you the research that is currently applicable. What you choose to do with it is entirely up to you. All right, if you continue at Slimming World or wherever, brilliant. All right, I'm just trying to give you a bit of knowledge. All right, any questions about me yet? Hit me, David.
Are they prescription or just...
Yeah, I can see you. No, I can see you. If I didn't have them on, I wouldn't be able to see you. All right? So essentially the goal of this evening, all right, is to empower you with some practical tools to elevate your performance and well-being in all areas of life. All right? However, the most important thing we do initially is cover what we're going to go through. It's basically irrelevant because when I wrote that, it's all changed afterwards. All right? But we're essentially going to go through foundations of performance optimization. So what is performance for you? Because it is different for everyone. How performance at work is correlated with your performance at home. Whatever you choose to imagine performance at home to be is up to you. All right? We will then go through physical fitness and well-being. So we won't just cover nutrition. We will go through strength training, mobility, etc. We will discuss recovery, sleep, which none of you do. All right? And we will go through nutrition and energy management. All right. Like I said, there are things on there that aren't in the presentation, but don't worry about it. Okay. First and foremost, we need to clarify what performance means to you. All right. So, does anyone want to shout out when I say, "What does performance mean to you?" What it means to you? It'll be like the start of a session where everyone's saying nothing.
Energy.
Pardon?
Energy.
That is sounded fucking delirious. That energy. All right. So, an improvement in energy. Anything else? You should come to a workshop about performance. You've got nothing.
I want to run very far.
Nice. Run far. Anything else?
You can have high performance or low performance.
Nice. Which one do you want, Em?
No performance.
All right. So, irrespective of whether you want to share it or not, you need to have a definition of what performance means to you. Okay? Because that's what we're going to get out of this workshop. All right? A athlete will have a different level of performance to you. They'll have a different view of it. The everyday person, someone that's slightly older, again, different. All right? So you need to have your own definition. But as everyone was pretty much too scared to say anything, I'll give you mine. All right? My goal with everything is to make small improvements in different areas of my life so that is never my view. All right? It is once upon a time changed. If you go back 10 years, it would have been a bloke with massive biceps. All right? But essentially, I've been in hospital once and I never want to go back. So I will do everything in my power to essentially avoid that. Okay? So tonight's workshop will be geared towards improving your health for the longevity. Okay? While some of us think we're athletes, we're all just everyday people trying to improve our energy, feel less stressed, feel better. All right? So you may be thinking, I've come to a performance workshop, why does it actually matter to me? All right? We have 3 benefits that if you take one thing away from today and implement it for just a month, but you do it every day, all right, I guarantee you will see better energy levels. You will wake up feeling more refreshed. With improved nutrition and recovery comes more energy, all right? You'll have a reduction in stress. I cannot control your work-life balance, but by doing some of the things that we will cover, you will see a reduction in stress, all right? You will have an improved length of quality of life. Tom Cowan doesn't care about when he's 80, because he's only 25 or whatever. All right?
Thanks, James.
No worries, sir. Some of us will be thinking about this already. As we age, we lose muscle, etc. All right? So we will try and cover a wide range of spectrums, all right? And we will also have time for questions at the end. So if you have a question, wait till the end, shout out, all right? So this wasn't, I didn't create this, but this is essentially called a little performance triad, all right? Bottom left, we've got physical health, okay? This is exercise, recovery, etc., etc. On the right, we've got mental health, okay? So this is anything to do with upstairs. In the top, we've got environmental factors, okay? They're the key biggest areas we need to place our focus on, all right? Who struggles with physical health the most? Raise your hands. Out of all three. There's no right or wrong, doesn't matter. Cool. Mental health? Nice, beautiful. Environmental factors. Got an abusive partner, I know, Pete. All right?
Awful.
So, they're our biggest three blocks we need to focus on, all right? In between each one, we have little subsections, all right? So, between physical health and mental health, we've got mental clarity. More exercise reduces, or improves your mental health, shall I say, but reduces depressive symptoms, okay? Good research so far to back that up. All right, between mental health and environmental factors, if you've got a good social circle, good relationships, chances are you're going to have better mental health. And then if you have better environmental factors, you'll have an improvement in physical health. If your friends are fitness people, chances are you'll be more physically active. If all they do is play board games, he's not here anymore, so it's all right. All right, chances are you'll be more sedentary. Okay, so they all have a factor, or they all play a role, shall I say? And bang in the middle, we've got thriving performance. That can be whatever you want it to be. But I would say you wake up feeling energized, you feel motivated for the day, you have no aches and pains, you can do your job throughout the day, and you can also do whatever you want after. Play with kids, etc. All right, but that can be whatever you want it to be. All right? This will be possibly the last thing I touch on before we get into the nitty gritty, because you're all just looking at me like, what the fuck is he on about? All right? Why the small wins matter. You can sit here, there's 52 slides. You can walk away and go, that was overwhelming. Or you can pick one thing and go, that was good, and go and do it. All right? So why do the small wins matter? All right? Based on a bit of research, put your hands in there. If you're trying to lose weight and you see the scale go down, do you do better that day? I would. All right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. But research shows if you see a decrease in daily scale weight, you're 76% more likely to adhere to whatever you're doing. All right? So a small thing every day, massive improvement. All right? Routine and structure. If you break down the massive goal that you're trying to achieve into smaller goals, you're more likely to achieve it. All right? And then compounding interest. For those of you that have read James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, the next visual will put this into play. All right? So he goes on to use maths, all right, to explain this. But essentially, if you just do one thing and you improve by 1% every day, by the end of the year you'll be 37% better off. But it works in reverse. If you do 1% less, you will basically reach zero in the course of a year. So the takeaway from this is if you take one thing, tiny, do it every day for the year, you will make improvements in whatever aspect of performance you want it to be in. All right? And he makes a decent analogy in this as well, that if you were to take off from LAX, going to New York, and the pilot made a shift by 3.5 degrees, I do not know how big that is, but apparently it's small, you would end up in Washington. The principle being, a small thing initially will achieve significant results in the long run. All right? But what you actually came for, now I've got past all of my dreary bits, all right? We'll start with physical fitness. So whilst you come to square one, this isn't to blow smoke up our bottoms, okay? It is to give you a bit of rationale behind why we do things in the way we do, all right? But also give you ways that you can optimize your own health and performance, all right, when it comes to your physical fitness, all right? So we start with health longevity. Okay, as I said, this is the goal for me, just never end up in hospital. It will impact every single one of you at one point in your life, whether you care about it right now or not. Okay? And the goal for us as a team in here, in a real simple term, is make you exercise forever, make you enjoy it, and ensure that you have the best quality of life for as long as possible. And whilst it's really boring and not sexy, that is our goal. Alright? So, do we know, you're going to have to shout them out, and I'm going to stand it all night until we get all three. There's currently 3 data points. If we were to test everyone in this room, we would be able to rank from person who's going to survive the longest to person who's going to die first, based on 3 things. Do we know what they are?
VO2 max.
Boom. 1. VO2 max. Thank you, Tim.
Grip strength.
Grip strength. 2. Boom. Last one.
Leg strength.
I need more specifics.
Pressing, leg pressing.
Single leg or double legged?
Double leg.
Close. You were good, Tim. It was single. All right. But you did well. You got 2. All right. So number 1, grip strength. So those of us in here who've been doing farmers carries for the last X amount of time. All right. For every 5 kilogram reduction in your grip strength, all right, you are 16% more likely to die. All right. Morbid, I know. Okay. You will have a 10% increase in your risk of dementia, and you'll have a 30% increase in your stroke risk. So whilst it seems pointless when you're walking up and down the gym, I'm trying to keep you alive for longer. All right?
Why? Oh, you said before.
No, go on, Mandy. Fuck it. Shout it out, Mandy.
What is your grip strength got anything to do with any of that? When you're about to collapse.
The correlation would be that people with decent grip strength are typically like labourers. They work outdoor. They've got manual labour jobs. So they're typically outside, physically active. They've been in the gym. So that's typically why the correlation aligns. Normally they're healthier, essentially. All right. As Tim said, VO2 max. So this is essentially your cardiovascular fitness in simple terms. Those of you that are more cardiovascularly fit, you will have a 45% lower risk of all-cause mortality. Okay. Ooh. All right. And then as Tim almost got single leg strength. Okay. We can literally all do it now. But one of the best pieces of research so far, if you can't stand on one leg for 10 seconds without falling over, in the next 7 years, you have an 84% increase in your risk of dying. All right, so when you go home and you do this, all right, you're going to die in the next 7 years. And then at the bottom, essentially in real simple terms, what the bottom one says is if your squatting strength decreases, your chance of dying goes up by 77%. Okay? If we were to do this with every person in the room, we could literally have longest survivor, first to die. And it would be pretty accurate. Okay? So when we do things in sessions, it is based on stuff like this. It's not just based on me sitting at home going, fuck me, what should I make them do today? Alright? We are trying to help you live longer. Alright? So, practical applications of what you can do with your physical fitness. Alright? Number 1, consistency. Okay? Hopefully this puts your mind at rest. But people who on average strength train 2 to 3 times per week, alright, will have a 63% more, or an extended quality of life, shall we say. You don't need to do anything more than that. You're more than welcome to do more than that. From a business perspective, it's phenomenal if you do more than that. Alright? But 2 to 3 times is your optimal area to be in. Alright? You'll have a 10% increase in your resting metabolic rate, easier weight management by doing consistent exercise. Alright? And you'll have a 47% decrease in depressive symptoms. So if over a consistent period of time you exercise 2 to 3 times a week, you will feel better. Okay? And then whilst everyone hates a split squat, a lunge or whatever, why we do a deadlift, a squat, a split squat, etc., I'm even going to put a down up in there, because why not? Alright? Compound movements, whether you do it here or at David Lloyd or wherever that you go in the future, you need to stick doing compound exercises. We've all gone to a gym and sat on a machine and done this. Alright? If you do compound movements, you will have greater functional strength. So you'll be able to stand on the side, get a cup from the top. You won't have to ask your kids to get it. You'll be able to squat to the toilet. You won't be shitting from this high because you can't get there. Alright? You will have enhanced metabolic rate. So by doing big movements, you have a higher expenditure of calories, meaning you have a better metabolism. Okay? And whilst everyone asks me, why do we do down-ups? Because when you're 80 and you fall over and you can get back up again, you have a decrease in fall risk. Okay? That's not why we get you to do a down-up, but that's my way of justifying it. Alright? And then finally, routine. Okay? Some nice research for you. If you come to the gym on the same time and the same day, you have a 41% better chance of losing weight. Don't ask me why, but that is true. 28% increase in lower limb strength in people who train on the same days at the same time and they do it consistently. Okay? So whilst you come here and you hope for these magic silver bullets, train twice a week, on the same day, at the same time, just do it all the time. You can go home. Alright? From a simple perspective, that's all we need to do. We can complicate it as far as we need to be. We then come on to cardiovascular fitness. Tom Cowan, you're in my eye line, so I apologise, but this is Tom's worst part about the gym. He hates it.
Block 3. Any block 3.
Thank you.
All right? Well, I'm going to change your mind, all right? Cardiovascular fitness, your mortality risk. As I said before, you have a 45% higher chance of dying, so you will be down that end of the gym if you're not physically fit. And whilst we've got a nice little formula here for VO2 max, essentially, in real simple terms, if you were to run a mile and it took you 10 minutes, for every 30 seconds that you reduce that mile time, you decrease your risk of mortality by 17%. All right? That's 30 seconds of exercise, or a reduction, shall I say. You improve your chance of living. Blood glucose control. Now, I'm pretty sure it's Tim Spector, but someone can shout at me if it's not. Tim Spector, Zoe, all these other shit things out there. Sorry if you've done Zoe. All right? Use glucose control as a nice little, oh, you do this because it sounds fucking cool. All right? What they don't tell you is what food spikes your glucose the most. Bread, nice, that's one, Tim. But that's not the right one, pizza, right? Mm-hmm. Anyone shout anything? Go. Carbs, nice, that's the Tim Spector's route. All right? What they don't tell you is the quickest thing to spike your blood glucose is protein. What does everyone else tell you? Eat protein, eat protein. All right? So when it comes to nutrition, I'd rather you just ask me, and I'll tell you what you want, and then you go do what you want with it. All right? But I'm here to just give you the information. Okay? People will cherry pick what they want to tell you to sell a product. All right? However, improving cardiovascular fitness, if you are at risk of type 2 diabetes, you will improve your chance of not getting it by over 50%. All right? And finally, enhanced energy levels. Who here gets tired during the day? Everyone, yeah. Who struggles with getting up in the morning? Good. Right, I know this is going to sound really fucking stupid, but if you get fitter, life becomes easier. Magic. All right? So you will then, in turn, improve your levels of fitness, which will improve your energy levels. All right? So all you've got to do, come to the gym 2 to 3 times. Do a bit of movement. All right? When it comes to how do you actually apply this in day-to-day life, all the range, ZO2. All right? What you need to avoid with something like this is becoming neurotic. There is a gentleman at the back of the room who I run with, and he looks at his fucking watch like this, and then walks up a hill when his heart rate goes a bit high. All right? Sorry, George. Okay? Zone 2 is essentially conversational pace. Okay? So that is just moving, being able to maintain a conversation. Okay? You need to aim to do 1 to 2 sessions a week. Okay? For 30 to 45 minutes. Okay? That is all you've got to do. Just walk, little jog, cycle, whatever you want it to be. But with my nice piece of research down here, participants over 12 weeks who did that once a week saw a 57% increase in aerobic fitness. When we go back to mortality risk, just by doing one 30-minute bit of exercise a week over 12 weeks, you drastically improve your health. All right? HIIT. Now again, this is all the rage and everyone goes on about it. HIIT should require you to work at maximal effort. If you were to do a 1-minute interval, you should have to recover for 5 minutes. So however long you work for, you should 5x the time you need to rest for. That's how hard HIIT should actually be, okay? And you potentially saw it once upon a time in the BBC. That was a very good piece of research. If you do one 10-second effort on a bike at maximal effort every single day, 10 seconds, all right? So as you go to the coffee machine, you just hammer this bike for 10 seconds once a day. You'll improve your VO2 max by 58%. All right? So as we like to overcomplicate things, it's actually super simple. You just got to keep doing it. And as I say to every new trialist that comes through the door, it never gets easier. Okay? Because you just try harder. All right? You lift something heavier, you do more, you challenge yourself harder, etc. It never gets easier, but we have to make progression if you want to continue improving your health. All right? Yep. We then come to mobility, and this will be controversial, okay, for us here at Square One, okay? But first and foremost, if you do mobility, you will see an injury reduction, okay? In a little study up here, for people who did a mobility routine for 5 minutes a day, saw a 37% reduction in their lower body injuries, all right? Who in here has had an injury with the shoulder? Raise your hands. Loads of us, all right? Piece of research. Okay, they tested 2 groups. One group did mobility based on their shoulder and strength work. One group did nothing, they just stopped doing it. The group that stopped doing anything saw a 92% increase in pain and symptoms. So when you're in a session and I'm like, does it hurt? Like, we need to continue doing this. I'm doing it because it's for you. I'm not doing it because it makes my life easier. Alright? So when it comes to injuries, if you do have something that is below a 5 or a 4 out of 10, keep moving because it's more detrimental to stop. Alright? We have an enhancement in performance. Now there's some of us that just want muscle strength, some of us want to live longer. Okay? If you increase the range of motion that you have at the joint, Sue Hankins, where are you? Because this one's for you. Alright, there you are, madam. So if we increase the range we have at any joint, okay, we improve performance of day-to-day tasks. As I said, if you can only squat to here, you're going to have a messy toilet. If you can squat to here, you're going to have a clean one. Alright? And for those of us that care about getting stronger, okay, at St Mary's, where I went to university, we did a study, okay. People came in, they warmed up on the bike. They then squatted and set a 1 rep max. A week later they came in, they warmed up on the bike and did half an hour mobility. They then increased their 1 RM by 32% by doing nothing else. You could argue the 1 rep max did X, Y, Z. But essentially, bit of mobility, you get stronger by doing nothing. Alright? And then we have faster recovery. So DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness. For those of us that do our little session with Emma, I don't know what she does in them, but then you come in like the next day and like this. Alright? That is DOMS, essentially. Alright? By doing a little bit of mobility, you reduce that pain by 30%. Okay? But what does that actually mean? And how can you implement it into your life? Daily mobility. This is partly why we don't do it. You go on YouTube. You pick your body part, shoulder. You type the word mobility afterwards. And then you pick a video and you do that. Every morning before you have a coffee. You go straight on YouTube, 5 minutes of shoulder mobility, done. On your way. Alright? We then have full range of motion. Now there are some suspects in here. I know who you are, so don't panic. I won't make you put your hands up, okay? But we like picking load over range of motion. Alright? So what we need to start focusing on is range of motion over load. Okay? We all love a half squat. Especially Team Faye in the middle of the room in an engine on a Wednesday morning. A little... Alright? Okay, there is a test called a sit and reach test, which tests your hamstring mobility. Okay? If you were to squat to full range of motion, you will see a 36% increase in your mobility in your hamstring compared to people who just squatted to parallel. Okay? So when you ask, why don't we do stretching at the end of a session? Why don't we do mobility in a session? It's because you can do it at home. We only have 50 minutes. Okay? And it's more beneficial for me to get you squatting through full range of motion than it is for me to sit there and get you doing 90-90s for 5 minutes at the end of a session. Alright? You're in the safe hands of our lovely coaches. Physio. Now, what everyone does in here is they go, my shoulder hurts, and then they continue saying my shoulder hurts for 5 weeks. Go and see a physio. Alright? You surround yourself with professionals. Professionals surround themselves with other professionals. Go and see a physio. We are not physios as coaches, alright? Over 11 years myself and X time for the other coaches that are here, we do get to a level where we understand the body and anatomy to a decent level. However, we're still not a physio. Go and see them, get a diagnosis, we can then help. Alright? So super simple, 5 minutes a day. Pete does it, I know he does down there. Alright? Squat, move to full range of motion. Go and see a physio if you get injured. Jen's in the corner over there. Wave your hand, Jen. Go and see Jen. Put your hood up. Alright? So, physical fitness out of the way. Okay? And for those of you that have heard me speak before, this is where I have a mild sense of humour failure. And as we continue to go, it gets worse. Okay? But we're going to talk about recovery first. Alright? Now this slide, all we're going to do is go through them one by one and put your hand up. There is no right or wrong because I can put my hand up with them as well, so don't panic. Number one, we call this a Theragun. Okay? It is potentially found in Ann Summers or other places in Soho. And it is essentially a drill with a rubber thing on the end. Okay? You're meant to massage your joints with it or your muscles. What muscles you choose to massage is up to you. Alright? Shit. Who's used one? Beautiful. Alright, number one. Compression trousers or whatever you want to call them. Again, horrifically overpriced. Okay? Shit. Okay? I've used them, don't worry. Cupping or any other weird manual massaging other than actual physical massage. Shit. Sauna, decent. Okay, but we don't have one. If you want one, your membership will go up exponentially. All right? Ice baths, again, brilliant. But you spend X amount on ice bath, just wash your bin, put ice in it. If you get in it multiple times, then go and buy an ice bath. Foam rolling, semi-decent. Okay? What I'm about to come to. If you drink alcohol, and you sleep for, let's say, 8 hours a night, all of them are shit. Alright? But they cost money, and they promise us the world, so we buy them. Alright? However, sleep. Now, how important is it? Alright? I've lost my drink. You're all parents. Okay? So your sleep's probably shit. You're not all parents, but most of you are. Tom Cowan there, babyface. Alright? Most of you are parents, alright? So your sleep is going to be shit. However, what I'm going to try and do over the coming slides is give you practical applications of how you can improve your sleep. I cannot take your children away, but I can give you things to improve it. If you choose to do them, that's on you. Alright? So, anyone who's seen the film Limitless, virtually the same thing. Alright? If all of a sudden they brought a drug out that was energy levels increased, cognitive function, mood, weight loss was easier, weight loss was faster, strength progressions were better, muscle was easier to build, and best of all, it was free, would you take it? Of course you would. Alright? That is sleep. Okay? And what we're going to do, there is a book by Matthew Walker called Why We Sleep, and there's some shocking stats for you. Alright? And we're going to go through them. People who sleep for less than 6.5 hours per night, on average, have a 40% chance of developing cancer, or a 40% increase. Okay? Don't panic while you're all shocked, because I fit in this category. Okay? So it's something I still need to work on as well. When the clocks go forward by just 1 hour in the summer, on that day, there's a 24% increase in heart attacks. Just on that day. Alright? People who sleep for less than 6.5 hours have a 50% reduction in their immune response to vaccines. Okay, so anyone that's like COVID vaccine, not getting political, potentially it's on you. Okay, but we never look at ourselves, we just want to blame the others. Alright? Individuals who are sleep deprived are 82% more emotionally reactive. Don't look at each other. Alright, while you're there. And individuals who sleep for less than 6.5 hours a night, on average, consume 500 more calories. And you're 55% more likely to be obese. Okay? And that is because it impacts your hormones, which are your hunger hormones, so you typically eat more food. Alright? So if that's not enough to convince you, we'll keep going. Who here would drink and drive? Hopefully no one. Or no one's going to admit. Alright? However, if you were awake for 15 hours straight, which the majority of us probably are on a day-to-day basis, your performance would be so impaired that you have the equivalent blood alcohol level of 0.05%. That is the legal limit in the UK. Alright? If you are chronically sleep deprived, your performance is impaired and it goes up to 0.10. That is double the legal limit. Okay? So, if what I said previously doesn't get you to sleep more, every time you get in the car when you're sleep deprived, you're basically driving pissed. Alright? Who's got a laptop out? So, what can we actually do? Okay, because it's all well and good going through these things. Maintain a sleep schedule. Okay, Michelle, unfortunately you are in the front row and I'm picking on you there. Alright? We need to sleep and wake at roughly the same time every day, and that includes the weekends. Okay? You need to be up within 30 to 45 minutes of what time you normally wake up. Alright? You then also will see a decrease in your sleep performance by 71% if on the weekend you sleep longer. Alright, so getting up at the same time, going to bed at the same time, better for you. Screens. Who goes to bed looking at a screen? Alright, for those of you that didn't put your hand up, do you use your phone for an alarm?
Yeah.
Boom, you use a screen. Alright, so all of us pretty much use a screen. We need to avoid screens between the first hour and a half before we go to bed. Okay? And if you do this, you will see an increase of 97% in your REM sleep performance. That is where you will recover and get decent sleep. Okay? So you will go home tonight and you will plug your phone in and you will set your alarm. Okay? Get that thing out of the room. Okay? You call me a hypocrite, but I still look at screens, so don't panic. If you are going to do it, set them on night mode. So get the blue light out of it. Well, that's a bit iffy. Just get as much light out of the screen as possible. Alright? Finally, your bedroom environment. Okay? Ideally, you get rid of the person in the bed. I'm joking, don't mind. Alright? But we need to set a temperature of roughly 15 degrees. You'll never do it, but those of you that sleep with windows open, potentially too cold. Those of you that jack the heating up, probably too hot. So we just need a nice neutral room. From a light perspective, we need it to be completely black. As dark as you can do. Alright? And from a noise perspective, it needs to be 0. Okay? There is research at the moment to say like white noise, pink noise, whatever noise you want, improves. But the problem you get is you need the right frequency and then you need the right decibels. Impossible for us to do when you've also got a job and everything else. Alright? So you essentially go to bed at the same time, wake up. Alright? Funny I'm talking to adults about this. Alright? Avoid screens, 2. Okay? Make your environment as dark as possible and you'll be golden. Okay? However, the morning matters most. Okay? Who here drinks a coffee the second they get up in the morning? Alright? It's arguably the worst thing you can do. So we want no caffeine within 90 minutes. Okay? You have a hormone called adenosine. That is what promotes feelings of sleepiness. Okay? When you wake up, it is not at 0 yet. But it is on its way. You then have a spike in cortisol. That is designed to get you awake and moving your body. What you then do is you have caffeine, which then dents the systems that are removing adenosine and allowing cortisol to do its job. You just plummet straight in. Throughout the day, what happens is your caffeine wears off. You still have adenosine in your system, so then you have another coffee. And the cycle continues. So if you get up, give yourself 90 minutes, you give the body a chance to actually do its job. Okay? We then have no screens. Who looks at a screen in the morning the second they get up? All of us. Alright? What happens is when you typically look at the screen, you get a hit of dopamine. Typically you'll be on Instagram or something else, you'll get dopamine. The feel-good hormone. What happens is if you do it every day, the body then is like, oh fuck, he's going to give me a screen, I'm going to get a bit of dopamine. So it wakes you up in anticipation of this dopamine. So when you wake up, just avoid the screen. Okay? And then a bit of natural light. Okay? If you can get outside and get some natural light in your eyes for just 10 minutes, you'll see, I believe, a 42% increase in energy levels throughout the day. Alright? So in real simple terms, wake up, don't have a coffee, get outside. Super simple for 10 minutes. However, if you are going to get in a car or look out a window, you have to times that number by 10. So that was 10 minutes. If you do it through a window or windscreen, you need to multiply it by 10. Alright? Happy day so far? Beautiful. Good feedback, team. As I mentioned, if you're not doing any of those things, anything else beyond that is terrible. Alright? It's not worth your time. However, there is one, and I've called it being self-aware. However, it probably should say have a rest. Okay? Who's stressed? Beautiful. When you exercise, that is a stress. You're essentially breaking down your body to then come back better and stronger. So if you're stressed, or chronically stressed, shall we say, then you come in and then stress yourself even more, what happens? Get even more stressed. Alright, you get ill, etc. So the reason why I've said be self-aware is because what do we all do when we want to make a change? Especially people at David Lloyd, we try and manage it. Yeah? You go nuts, alright? You exercise every day, you do spin classes 2 times a day, you run. You typically starve yourself. All of them are stressors, and you're already stressed. Okay? So what we need to do is wake up in the morning and go, fuck me, my body hurts and I'm feeling a bit run down today. There's multiple people in here, just hiding behind Mandy, Sarah Howgate, alright? When we don't lift the weight we expect, you're a fucking one for this as well, we get pissed off. Don't look at Tim, alright? We get angry with ourselves and we get pissed off, okay? You cannot come in every day and lift more weight. There's stuff that happens in day-to-day life that means that's not possible. So you need to be self-aware enough to go, I'm going to have a rest today. Or I'm going to go into the gym and go, I'm just going to go to see people and move my body. But I don't need to move mountains today. Alright? If you can do that, you will be more recovered than anyone that's getting a fucking gun on a muscle. Alright? Just by being a little bit self-aware. Alright? Now this is where I truly do lose my sense of humour. Alright? And this is what you came for. Okay? I want you to imagine something. Okay? For those of you that work, I want you to imagine every day. Okay? When you go to work, people are asking you for help. They're going, how do I do this? Can you do this for me? Can you do that? But every time you give them an answer, it doesn't match their bias of what they believe. Okay? And they don't do anything. Welcome to what it's like being a nutritionist. Alright? The problem with nutrition is because it is unethical to just feed people an avocado, we cannot prove anything. Because people will eat things. So if I want to prove that avocados are the thing that reduces your heart disease, it means I have to only feed you avocados. Okay, but we can't do that because it's unethical. So what happens is we create studies to cherry pick the answer that we want. Okay, and you then have to go, what is the body of research that has been around for decades? Chances are that's right. All right. So as I mentioned at the start, I don't mind what you do with the information after this. All I'm doing is giving you the research. You choose what you want to do with it. In the future, if it's wrong or it turns out that it's changed, I'll go, it's changed. But all we can do is move with the research. All right. However, this is Val. Okay, this is a little story time for you. All right. Val has once upon a time soaked and peeled individual almonds because she read that it improves digestion. All right. She's eaten more purple grapes than I've had hot dinners because someone said it decreased the risk of dementia. Val still drinks alcohol. All right? I call these 1% questions, and they're the things that are sexy and what we love because they make it sound as if we're like, oh, this is going to be the thing that answers us. But we all still drink alcohol, the majority of us do. All right? And I'll get to that in a minute, okay? But the real kicker, Val's my mum.
Yeah.
All right? So when I've just moaned about you on the previous slide, this woman sent me to university whilst I do love her dearly. It took me a long time to convince her that having gone to university, I actually kind of know what I'm talking about to some degree. All right? The nutrition basic... Poor Val. They don't show that. All right? So, the nutrition basics. Okay? And you may be wondering why there is a house. I haven't got confused. Okay? You would never build a house on mud. You would build it on solid foundations. And what we're going to discover in the next slide is we can potentially all go home. But there will be one annoying person that lies, so we'll have to stay to the end. All right? We'll have a nice little quiz. Okay? I need everyone to put their hand in the air, just one of them. Participate, team. Come on, this is what we're here for. All right? It's a yes or no answer. If the answer is no, you put your hand down. Okay? Whoever's left, lying. Okay? Who here eats 5 portions of fruit and veg every single day of the year? Go on, fuck, we've nailed it. Alright? No one else got their hand up. Pete, I've got you on the next one, mate. Don't worry. Alright? Because you're vegan. Alright? Who here eats 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein every single day? Pete, put that arm down. You can't put it back up. You've already put it down. You're out, madame. Alright? The purpose of this, I can keep going. Who drinks 2 litres of water? Who doesn't drink alcohol? Who eats ultra-processed food? The purpose of this is, you all want a silver bullet. You don't do the basics. I don't either. So there's nothing bad about it. Alright? But unfortunately, we're going to have to go back to school. And we're going to go through the foundations again. And as Mandy summarised, Mandy, if you want to go home, it does get better today though. Alright? It's going to be real simple. But what do we do at the start? You just got to do it consistently. For fucking ages. Alright? Number 1, micronutrient intake. We are all malnourished. Okay? These are your little lifesavers. Okay? They improve immune support, reduce inflammation, promote heart health, yada, yada, yada. But no one eats 5 portions a day other than Pete, apparently. Alright? So, with these being the number 1 thing that we could do to improve our health, alright, but none of us do it, okay? If you were to eat 5 portions every day, you would reduce your mortality risk by 49%. For every 1 above 5, that's another 15%. And that goes with each one. Okay? And none of us do it. But you'll all sit around the dinner table and be like, eat your fruit and veg, kids. But we don't do it. Alright? Okay? So it's super simple to do. You just got to do 5 a day. Alright? That's basic number 1. Number 2, especially in blokes. So blokes, I apologise, but women as well. We're seeing an increase in colon cancer. Okay? Don't care about you. They probably don't even know what your colon is. Alright? However, we need to have fibre because it is essential for overall life. Digestive health, heart health, weight management. Okay? It is essential. Okay? We need to have 8 grams of fibre a day for every 1,000 calories you consume. So if you have 2,000, That's how many, Simon? Fuck, he wasn't
16.
listening. Oh, he's got it. Good, 16. All right. For every 8 grams you consume, that is a 20% reduction in your mortality risk. All right. You will reduce your chance of colon cancer by 73%. So your chance of getting colon virtually around your bottom area improves. All right. And the kicker, for which everyone probably wants to hear, if you have a high fibre diet in comparison to people who don't have a high fibre diet, over 6 weeks you will lose 4.4 pounds more in weight loss just by eating a high fibre diet. All right. There's some blank faces. Okay. Do you know where you get fibre, team? That'll do, Pete. However, little tip: full can of baked beans. Done. All right. Super easy. Okay. Bit of fibre for you.
Can you have too much fibre?
Oh, potentially, sir, but I'm going to say no. You might be the only person at risk, and Sarah, you're a vegan, right? No, someone's a vegan. There you go, Tim is Tim. You two potentially are at risk, but you're not either. Okay, if you're only, Tim's not getting 5 portions of fruit and veg today, so he's definitely not. All right. Then you could argue that protein would be number 1, but being in a gym. However, I'm going to put it a little bit further down. Okay, it is essential for muscle mass, metabolic health, recovery, enhancing physical performance. Okay, who knows what sarcopenia is? Tim will. Good work, Jen. Okay, that is essentially muscle loss as you age. Okay, you will all experience it. Okay, if you eat adequate protein for long enough periods of time, you will reduce your chance of experiencing sarcopenia by 83%. Just eat a bit more protein. All right, and you will have a better quality of life. The best part, all right, individuals who ate adequate protein, okay, saw a decrease in weight by 8.9 pounds over 12 weeks, and they did fuck all else. That's all they did. So if you increase your protein intake, you will make increase in strength, increase in muscle mass, weight loss. Okay? Oh, I thought Sarah was leaving then, I was going to shout.
Oh no, I can't sit down for this.
Alright, you'll ask me how much? 1 gram per pound of body weight, super easy. Alright, doesn't need to be any more than that. Okay, there'll be some of you that get absolutely nowhere near that. So all you got to do, look at what you currently do, try and have a bit more, and slowly make your way up there. Okay, it doesn't need to change overnight. Fluid intake. Okay, who actually drinks 2 litres of water a day? A couple of us, decent. All right. So this will be crucial for us when it comes to cognitive enhancement. So like those of you that work, want to improve your life from that perspective. Skin health, physical performance, mood. Who gets a headache? Probably drink a bit more. That'll be part number 1. All right. Even mild dehydration can impair your physical and mental performance and your energy levels. Okay. So you need to drink more. If you increase your fluid intake above 2 litres every single day consistently, you will see an increase in physical performance by 48%. That is so simple to do. But everyone wants a nice little silver bullet because it doesn't sound sexy. Alright? So just drink a bit more water. Now, Mandy was hoping that we'd get through a whole thing without me talking about alcohol. Now, before I do this, for those of you that haven't listened to me speak before, okay, I'm not demonising it. Okay, I don't personally drink. Okay, you will have some alcohol in your life still. You may choose to go teetotal, but hopefully over the coming slides, it gives you a bit of awareness. All right, we'll have a little bit of a first. All right, and this isn't to show that you're wrong. This is to show how shit our media is. Okay, out of the 2, red meat and alcohol, who thinks red meat is more cancerous? Raise your hands. Nice, beautiful. The rest of you alcohol, yeah, beautiful. What's more cancerous? Alcohol, artificial sweetness. Alcohol, artificial sweetness. Beautiful. All right. Red meat, more cancerous than being a hairdresser. Yay or nay? Go yes for yes, more cancerous. So red meat's more cancerous than being a hairdresser. Nice. Okay. What about being a shift worker? Okay, nice. All right. The point I'm making here is you're all wrong. Okay? Out of everything I just labelled, alcohol is the most carcinogenic. It's a class 1 carcinogenic, which means it will cause cancer in humans. Not if, not but, it will cause cancer. Whether you get it or not, different kettle of fish. But it has a direct impact on your chance of cancer. Alright? It is in the same category as asbestos, along with a whole host of other things. But just from the perspective of how much impact it has when it comes to your consumption and your chance of cancer risk is exponential. And I truly believe, we'll never know, but I truly believe that if it was brought out today, it would be illegal. I don't know, but that's just what my guess is. All right? From a nice, lovely survey that was done in the UK, all right? When we surveyed the UK population, they believed that red meat and artificial sweeteners and shift work was more cancerous than alcohol. The lowest thing on that list, red meat and artificial sweeteners. But because the media's given it a little push, you will stop eating red meat. Possibly one of the most nutrient-dense things you can eat. All right? So just, red meat unfortunately doesn't bring taxes, revenue. So we just demonise it, alcohol. All right? Not a conspiracy theory from this perspective. All right? Just letting you know it's not the best thing for you to put in your body. All right? And as we've gone through all of these wonderful benefits today, for those of you that are going to go home and have a nice glass of wine, are you ready? Physical fitness. If you drink alcohol, you will see a 46% reduction in recovery, 21% reduction in strength progressions, the worst one, 86% in increase in depressive symptoms. All right? You will also see a 59% decrease in CV fitness. Okay? This is based on an average consumption of 2 glasses of red wine every week for a year. That's it. All right? 2 glasses a week. Sleep. 69% reduction in sleep performance. All right? 91% reduction in REM sleep. On average, 2 alcohol beverages will accumulate 2.4 hours of sleep debt. And unlike your money situations, you cannot recoup sleep debt. You can't go sleep deprived and then go and sleep for 24 hours. It doesn't work like that. You've just had one night where you've tanked yourself. You've got to move forwards. And from a nutrition perspective, 47% increase in weight gained over a 16-week period in participants that drink alcohol versus those that don't. All right? A reduction in impulse control, potentially in all areas of life. All right? You will see 480 additional calories consumed simply under the influence. And that doesn't include the calories in the alcohol. All right? So it's virtually guaranteed that under the influence you will eat more. All right? Unfortunately, if you were to do everything we've just done, all right, for the two, I think there's only two, the 2 humans that I coach one-on-one for nutrition, you'd have results. But they're not sexy. All right? They're not cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one today. All right? And I'm going to do it in true Tim Spector fashion. Beetroot juice. All right? Is a superfood. Contains natural nitrates. Elevates your endurance. Improves blood oxygen delivery. Kickstarts nutrient partitioning. Fires your metabolism. Costs more than your mortgage. Must work. All right? When studied in elite level marathon runners, okay? So arguably these are all people that are already doing everything we've discussed and more, potentially also drugs, okay? Over the course of a marathon, they improve their time by 1.8 seconds. That's it. Over 2 and a bit hours by having beetroot juice, okay? If you just sleep a bit more, you can fuck that off. It tastes disgusting, all right? So this is what I mean when it comes to the world of nutrition. We can sell you anything. Because I say, you want to lose weight. Here's a little thing, take it, and you'll have the answer. Because it's sexy, but if you just ate a bit more protein, you'd actually lose more weight than if you took a tablet. By doing nothing else. Alright? Supplements, as I've just said, I'm now going to give you 1% rules. But it's what you all came for. Alright? 3 needle movers, and this is it. Nothing else. Fish oils. Alright? Not even that brilliant, but they're one of the ones that have a bit of research behind them. We all think that they improve cardiovascular health, all right, reduce cholesterol, etc. There's actually not a lot of research. The only thing they really do is improve depressive symptoms, reduce depressive symptoms, shall I say? All right, if you take fish oils. Creatine, the most researched supplement in the entire world. All right, it's been going back decades. Okay, don't take it through the airport in a bag because it looks like cocaine. However, if you take it, you will see an increase in power output. Okay, so strength progressions. You will improve your strength. It must be taken every day. There is very good research at the moment to suggest that it improves cognitive performance, all right, and mental well-being. I know you won't take it, specifically important, or more important, shall I say, for women, because your stores are less than blokes. So you need to take it more to saturate yourselves, all right? Blokes, we have a better store of it. If you eat no red meat, you need to take more of it as well, all right? But it needs to be done every day, okay? Cost £3. Finally, vitamin D. What's the best source of vitamin D, team? What do we not get in the UK? Sunshine. Beautiful. So we need to take it. It's a must, okay? It is one of the 24 critical nutrients for us to survive, all right? If you take it, or you're not deficient, shall I say, you have a 67% reduction in cancer risk, all right? You have 71% reduction in depressive symptoms. You will have an 84% increase in energy levels, okay? It's literally a no-brainer and it costs fucking £5. All right, just swallow it. Okay? Don't worry about how much you take. You cannot overdose on vitamin D. All right? Just take it. Don't worry about anything else. All right? What I would suggest with vitamin D is if you do have a little box and it says X percentage of your daily recommendation, assume you're already deficient. And that is based on you not being deficient and you maintain it. So take above the dose. All right? You won't die, I promise you. Other than that, you need to do nothing else if you're not doing the things that we've gone through already. Alright? The supplements are pointless if you're not sleeping for 8 hours a night. However, we all take them because, again, it's a silver bullet. Okay? It is super simple, team. It's not rocket science. You're all smart cookies. Alright? Really boring, not sexy, but hopefully it's cleared your mind. Alright? Do you have any questions? Alright? That you would like us to go through? Hit me. Come on, madam.
How much protein should you eat on the day when you're not working?
Same.
Oh.
Every day. Every day.
So even if you do 2 workouts a week, as opposed to someone who does 3?
Every day.
Okay.
In simple terms, Rebecca, it would be, if you got slightly bigger from a muscle mass perspective, it then requires more protein for you to move that body. So you just take it every day consistently. What matters most is the average. So you could eat it all on Monday and then not have it the rest of the days. But for simple terms, like, you have a job, don't you?
Yeah, I was going to ask another question. A friend asked me. She said you shouldn't be eating more than 50 grams in one meal.
Does she drink alcohol?
Yeah.
Who cares? That's literally it. That's as simple as it gets.
She said you can't absorb more than 35 or 40%, 40.
And then you wee out apparently as well. Unfortunately, that's what used to be told. And I remember when I was about 12, I was in Holland and Barrett, and a bloke that was like this big told me that don't worry, you have as much protein as you want because if you don't use it, you'll wee out. It doesn't happen. All right. Even if you can't digest more than like 40 grams, I think. But the rest of it doesn't just go like into oblivion. You just then digest it later. That's all. All right. Callum?
So I track my sleep.
Nice.
I don't get 8 hours each night.
Yeah.
But my REM sleep and recovery sleep is still more than a third. So it seems to be that, is that right? Although I might not be getting 8 hours, I'm getting like 7, 7.5. But my
Yeah, a third's an optimal place to be.
Fine.
Yeah. But all I say is like, works all about increasing performance, just sleep longer. All right. Mr. Avery, I'll get you to Paul.
Alcohol. You see those like some...
Alcohol, yeah, of course you're on.
Happiness dreams.
So, yeah, you see like a pint or 2, 3. But then with a pint, also quite like a ciggy now and then. And, you talk about cardiovascular fitness. Is that data purely based on alcohol?
Yeah.
Is that taking into account like other variables like ciggies?
Well, as I said, like, it's impossible for us. We can't prove categorically it's alcohol.
Okay.
But like when you look at it from a correlation perspective, and as I said, like the data that's there is a resounding piece of body, what's lasted for the length of time, that's purely based on alcohol. The fact that if you're smoking as well, like, the chance of the numbers will be worse. Naturally. I'm pretty sure a cigarette won't improve the numbers. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, it was just based on alcohol though.
Okay.
Alright. As I said, like you could also be sleep deprived, people that drink. typically then aren't sleeping as well. So like there's things that come into play, but it's basically alcohol. Oh God. All right.
Not sleeping, drink.
True. Yeah. Normal.
Don't
Normal.
have kids.
They don't have kids. Mr. Bash.
Promising, when should you, with like supplements, when should you take that?
Doesn't
Before,
matter.
After exercise?
Doesn't matter.
and stuff?
Doesn't matter. The most important thing from that perspective is like you got the good old fashioned anabolic window that everyone loves after exercise. Okay? And you used to see people like filling up their protein shake as they leave the gym and then glugging it. Alright? Like, yeah, you will get maybe a smidge better recovery, but as long as you're getting a meal in that contains protein within 2 hours, you're golden. If you'd rather have a protein shake, that's cool. Like if it's easier, you get in the car. So if we can have protein post the workout, that's brilliant, but it doesn't have to be a shake. It could just be a meal. Alright. Anyone else? Come on, Anne.
Does the pub know you've told everyone not to drink alcohol before the Christmas party?
Simon probably doesn't, but Simon would be there just like fairly like wine in hand, being like, drink tea.
Bottle of day, isn't it?
As I said, like, I demonise it, but like the most you're gonna have it anyway. But it's just if we go back to the start and we say like you're making a 1% improvement, if you drink a bottle at night, maybe go half a bottle. And slowly make your way. Meg, why are you laughing? Because that's you, isn't it? Maybe just make small improvements. Doesn't need to be drastic. You don't need to go teetotal. All right. Anything else?
Supplements.
Yeah.
They used to be really rubbish, like full of like powder just to up the weight of them. Has that changed over the years? I remember I used to take like Usana stuff, which was pretty pure. It was ridiculous cost. And yeah, I just wondered if there's a particular brand that you recommend, or
I used to sleep for 8 hours a night.
recommend.
It would have improved over time, but like there's still like multivitamins these days. Like you don't actually digest anything that's in them.
Yeah.
Like everyone loves a probiotic. Barely any of them actually make it to the stomach. So like, I don't want to negate the placebo effect. Like you take something, you're like, oh, it's working. It will have improved slightly because regulation's better. And good.
Well, I was just going to say, when you say about taking vitamin D, is there anything that we should look out for on the packaging? Like, is it a certain percentage of vitamin D which should be taken?
No, you're better off just taking it.
Okay.
I don't want to say the higher the price, the better it is, because it
Right.
doesn't typically work like that from like the whole time. But like any reputable source, My Protein, bulk powders, like they're all pretty decent. And if you want to go to the extreme, anything that's informed for sport, that means like athletes can take it, they don't want to get drug banned. That's probably your safest bet from that perspective. Anything else?
Did it say for fish oil, like quantity wise, just take a load of it?
Don't take too much, because you can. I'd follow the recommended daily allowance for that on the back of it. Only because, but with vitamin D, you can't overdose on it. I mean, probably if you tried and like you fucking went for it, like, so you might be sick. But like from the perspective of like actually what happens in the bloodstream, nothing will happen.
Is there an alternative to fish oil that doesn't involve fish? Just a little.
Yeah, a lot of flax seeds.
Is it?
Yeah, that's not the only one, but that's the kind
For a
of
little fish.
that's the route you're going to go down. Yeah, but you start eating eggs. You convert Pete to eating eggs too. Tim's fucking raging about that. He's like, my fellow vegan's now eating eggs.
I just wanted to ask about the size of your stomach. Is it true that it's the size of your fist?
I didn't hear that, sorry.
Is it true it's the size of your fist?
Mine must be the size of the egg, because I just eat everything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about that. Probably.
Because it's portion size for me
Yeah.
that's the biggest issue.
Well, your
I
stomach
cook
will stretch.
something for 5 people and 2 of us eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Sarah's husband's very fucking good at that.
It's terrible.
Eating like a family 4 thing for himself.
Yeah.
I've literally just texted him going, I really need to sort my diet out.
Well, that's a good. Rebecca, with that information, I wouldn't worry. You can make your stomach bigger, you make it smaller by not eating. By eating, it gets bigger. I wouldn't worry. As you saw, if you just eat more protein, do nothing else, you'll lose 10 pounds.
What keeps you more full, fibre or protein?
That's a very good question. So I probably off the top of my head wouldn't have an answer for you, Ryan, without just blagging it. But both of them will help satiety. You might as well do a combo of both and then fuck it. Best of both worlds. Anything else, team? No? Have a wonderful evening.
Very good.
Thank you.
If you do have any more specific things that you don't want to shout out, I'll hang around if you want to have a chat about anything. Alright. What was that? It's not my first rodeo.
I have booked it if there's a Wednesday.
Good. When are you going?
I'm going to the place there.
Yeah, Wimbledon.
Who are you seeing?
Steve.
Steve.
They gave me 20% off.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
square one.
Yeah.
See you later, Tim. Thank you very much for coming, sir. Oh, good, yeah.
Thank you so good.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. Of course I can. Yeah, yeah. I potentially might have to refilm it anyway, like on the computer
Yeah, because
for
I'll
people. So, like, yeah, I'll send it.
That'd be great, thank you. No, I really appreciate
Not a
that.
problem, sir. No, thank you. Not a problem, sir.
Have a good evening, mate.
You too, Peter. Very well.
I've just seen your
Yeah.
message.
Oh, yeah.
What
Can you pause
time
that?
was the session?